And first, we'll go over to Illinois. We'll go over to Illinois first, because what happened is Illinois is doing something, and then Colorado was like, we will not be outdone. So boom, Illinois passes a recreational marijuana bill. The bill is going to the House. The Senate passed it. It's going to the House. So the push to legalize recreational marijuana, which we should just call it pot, by the way. We shouldn't say marijuana anymore. It's a dumb term, rooted in racism. So I like just saying pot. The push to legalize recreational pot use took a big step forward in Illinois Wednesday after the Senate passed a recreational pot bill. The bill is now heading to the House. HB 1438, passed the Senate with 38 voting in favor and 17 opposed. 2 senators voted present and 2 voted no. Why would voted present, really? Those are the people that like I don't want to seem like a square. I'm against this, but I don't want to seem like a square, so I'm just going to vote present. What are you undecided on? You're either against pot because you want to entertain the fantasy of an archaic drug war based in propaganda that has been debunked many times over for the past, how long's it been now? Almost 100 years. Not quite, but almost 100 years. Pretty much since the 30s. So we are slowly approaching 100 years. We'll have a 100th anniversary and the drug war will still be going on. Arguably the best propaganda campaign ever in the history of the United States. It was a hell of a successful propaganda campaign. Hella evil. But as far as propaganda campaigns go, wow, it nailed it. So you either entertain that archaic fantasy for votes or whatever else, or because you have money to gain from it, you're probably in bed with Big Pharma, etc., or you've evolved like public opinion has many times over. If you're on the fence, what planet are you living on? If you're on I'm not sure yet. How are you not sure yet? Well, tons of scientific evidence. There is a lot of benefits to hemp, a lot of benefits to CBD, a lot of benefits to pot. It is designated a Class 1 drug by the DEA, which means it has no redeemable qualities. That has been proven not true many times over. It's a plant. It started out as an ingredient for food in China. What more do you need? I mean, what more well, I saw this movie, Reefer Madness, that we now view as a total parody, because it was. Big Pharma told me this. They, of course, make money off of pain pills. Come on. What more do you need? What more do you need? I'm not sure yet. No, you're sure. You just don't want to look like an archaic fool. That's what it is. Voting present. It's almost like I have more respect. Not respect, but I can, honor somebody. If you voted no, at least you're standing for something. I mean, you're standing for something terrible and corrupt beyond all measure, but at least we know who you are. At least your mask is off. If you vote present, it's almost like you're, I'm not for it, obviously, but I don't want to look square. I might want to pander for votes later. Anyway, all right, let's go back to the article, see what's going on. All right, so the bill would allow Illinois residents to possess any combination of the following: 30 grams of cannabis flower, 5 grams of cannabis concentrate, 500 milligrams of THC contained in a cannabis-infused product, or 1 brownie or cookie. That's the other thing. 1 brownie or cookie, up to 10 gummy worms. Pot gummies are fun, by the way. Although I'm not a big edible fan. We'll dissect this later in the chat. But I'm not a big edible fan. Some of y'all might be. And no judgment here if you are. But me, I'm not a big edible fan. One time, I took an edible before seeing the movie The Martian. If any of you have seen that movie. I don't want to spoil anything with the movie, but I will tell you one piece of information. I was really, really stoned. And I thought that the entire movie, everybody was plotting against him. And I could not get that thought out of my head, so I was not able to follow the movie. So I guess that's... But there's never at any point where you would get the inkling that everybody involved was plotting against the main character. So I'm not really spoiling anything. But if you saw that movie, you know what I'm referring to. And yeah, I thought everybody Like, the news media, the government, everybody was plotting against the dude who was up there. And so the movie made no sense to me eventually. Like, I was just like, wait a second. I thought, so their plan got foiled? And they were like, what plan are you talking about, Ron? Now, that may have been also an interesting movie. The Martian was a good movie. I enjoyed it. But that movie, the one, like it was a conspiracy or whatever, that could have been very interesting as well. But in my head, that's what I thought was going on throughout the entire movie. I was just like, oh man, yeah. Nothing gave me those clues except for my paranoid brain. So anyway, I'm not a big, that's not why I'm not a big fan of edibles. There's other reasons. I just don't like the way they make me feel. But anyway, that's something interesting that happened to me on the edimables. So there's that. All right, so that's what Illinois is pushing for. And now that bill is heading to the House. And then eventually it will get to the governor's desk. All right. So we'll follow this as it unfolds.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and